Just wanted to show my process for building a level in my game. I'm building a ancient forest level, and I'm starting with the Blockout in Blender. So this is the level that's going to go in the game, and it doesn't look like a forest yet, but right now I'm just trying to block out the general level and pieces. So you see we're going to have 3 levels in the level. You can see here there's 2 caves. If you go into those caves, we have shafts, which I've added, which are going to take you up levels. So at its most basic, you're going to start off somewhere over here. You're going to go over this way. You're going to take an elevator up. You're going to fight your way over to this way. You're going to go through a tunnel here. You're going to take another elevator up. You can go over this way. It's going to be a boss right around here, along with a special item that you have to collect in this level. And then there's going to be a shortcut elevator to bring you all the way down here. I've also brought it into Unreal Engine already. You know, basically you're going to be on a mountain now. So here we have in the game, you can see where I imported this big blocky mesh. And I basically just cloned my other level and then deleted a bunch of things, because when you're in the forest level, you're supposed to be on a mountain, and you can see the town where you were playing before, along with the boss area that you fought before. You can see Castle Pigman over here, which I'll need to modify the mesh so it looks better from this angle. And then you can see over on the other corner, at least you could before, where'd it go? Yeah, this guy over here. Which is going to be another level, the research facility. So the idea is that wherever you're standing in the different levels, you can see the other levels, and it kind of gives you a feeling of presence. The reason that I import it into my game early is because I want to make sure that the size works everywhere, so that, you know, as I'm running around the level, that everything is about the right size that it should be. Okay, it's a little bit later, and I've got the Blockout kind of done for now. Basically, I just add in different components, and then when I'm ready to export it, I just select all of them, and then I hit Control J to merge them all together, and then I can export everything as a single mesh. And over in Unreal Engine, I've got it imported, and then everything just kind of updates in place. And I've got all the collisions being handled by the mesh itself. It's using complex collision to simple, which, you know, in a lot of tutorials they say that that's a big performance hit, but that has not been my experience using this method. I think it's fine to use for this type of geometry. And yeah, and then I was just kind of playing around with it to see, you know, start to get an idea for where I can put enemies, and you know, how does it feel, and are landmarks, you know, visible where I want them to be. And now I'm going to go in and fill in a lot more detail. So I need to make some tree assets. These cylinders are going to turn into trees. I need to add some rocks. You know, I'm going to put a bunch of rocks around. I'm going to basically just make some different assets to add more detail and to start to fill in the scene a bit. So yeah, right now it looks pretty rough, but I'm pretty happy overall with the Blockout. And now I'm just going to start to add more detail, and I'll check in later. Okay, I took this opportunity to add some color and start experimenting with some materials to try to get kind of an idea of what this will look like in the game. And in Blender I'm just using placeholder colors, but then in the game I actually added textures. And yeah, I mean, you know, it starts to look like something once you throw textures in. You got a wall here, you've got grass, you've got trees that are kind of floating in the air. I got to fix that. You've got the mountains in the distance, you've got a rocky cliff wall, and as you can see, the geometry is still really rough, so I need to add a lot more detail. I need to add tops to the trees, need to change a lot of things, but I'm kind of liking the general feel of this area, and yeah, definitely putting textures on helps a lot. So, you know, again, I'm gonna just keep adding detail. You start with something very simple and you keep building it out until you end up with something that looks more impressive. So hopefully that's where I'll end up. Okay, I made some progress. I added, well, I redid the big tree over here to look a little nicer. I did that in ZBrush. And then here, I tried about 20 ways to make a tree, but I couldn't really figure out how to do it effectively, so I found a 3D model online that was open to use, and I think it looks pretty nice, actually, in the scene. And I went ahead and put it into Unreal Engine, so that now the character can walk around the forest, and it looks a lot more forest-like than it did before. So yeah, coming together. So next I'm going to add some rocks, and I'm going to make the mountains look a little bit more organic. As you can see, the mountains here are all very rounded, but the mountains in my level that I have, and you can see it in Blender as well, is very boxy because I started out with this basic shape and now I'm kind of filling it in. So I'm probably going to create a 3D rock model, or maybe even a couple, and then I'm just going to kind of add some noise to the mountain to make it look a little bit more organic looking, and then I'll check back. Okay, and I'm back. I fleshed out the level a bit more in Blender and Unreal Engine. This is what the level looks like now. We've got trees, we've got rocks that are kind of defining vantage points. You can get up here and you can see the town that you were in before. You can see a castle in the distance. I need to adjust the fog a bit. There's mountains. You go up here. I'm going to put an NPC down at the bottom level. There's an area up here which maybe will have an NPC, but certainly will be kind of a secret that you can go up from that log. And then down here you've got another elevator which is going to bring you up here, and you're going to have the boss area. This is going to be the boss arena where you fight. And then afterwards you're going to be able to take the elevator back down. You're going to be able to get a nice view of the one of the other levels, which is the research facility. And then over here you can kind of get up here, you can see the castle and then the town and the ship that you landed in. Playing the actual level is feels okay. It needs enemies and NPCs, obviously, but I just want to kind of get the general feel and sense of space for everything. So yeah, from where I started, I think it's definitely an improvement. Okay, so here's some more changes to the forest level. This is a couple of weeks later, and I've kind of gone in and fixed the lighting, and I'm generally pretty happy with how this is so far. I've also added some enemies, so I'm just going to do a quick playthrough. There's one of the forest guardians, kind of jump out at you. I'm going to improve the AI on those a bit. And then we have this biblically inspired angel kind of guy. It's pretty similar to how the Blockout was before. You got some nice views. You can look down and see where you were. You can see, yeah, you can't really see the tree. I should probably make the tree bigger. Oh, here's Castle Pigman. Yeah, I kind of expanded that a little bit. I still haven't added NPCs, but I'm going to add, it's going to be 2 NPCs, one that you can buy special items from, and another that will tell you things about why you're in the forest. I need to redo this elevator shaft because there's a bug where if you move around too much, you'll fall through the bottom of the elevator, which which is obviously a problem. Got these biblically. And then we got the boss fight. So yeah, that's the forest level. That's pretty happy with it overall, I think.